Hello, and welcome to the Argyle CIO Leadership Forum Vision Strategy Trends. My name is Vicki Lynn Brunskill with Argyle. It's great to have everyone joining us today. I have some important information to share with you, and then we'll turn the floor over to our esteemed opening keynote speaker. First, we'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsors, Adobe, Cloud Services Solutions, and Stack Overflow. Our partners are committed to providing you with valuable content and a great overall experience today, and at any time during today's event, you can visit their virtual booths from the main agenda page, which includes complimentary materials, information, and meet and greet opportunities. Thank you again to our sponsors, Adobe, Cloud Services Solutions, and Stack Overflow. Also, we welcome you to stay socially connected during today's event. For those of you who are active tweeters, please use the hashtag Argyle Digital and follow us on Twitter at Argyle Exec Forum. Also, be sure to follow Argyle on LinkedIn for special announcements. I'd like to take a moment to just touch on our content neutrality policy, which we've curated based on the feedback we've received over the years from our members. We've worked closely with our speaking faculty to ensure that you received a set of balanced and neutral viewpoints during the sessions today, and we appreciate our members' support of this policy. Finally, and most importantly, we want to hear from you. So during each session, we do encourage you to submit your questions and comments in the Q&A box on your screen. Following each presentation, we've set aside time for our speakers to weigh in on those questions. Thanks again. Now let's get started. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Drew Rye, Chief Digital Officer, Quaker Houghton. We are so excited to have Drew with us for his opening keynote presentation titled Technology and Data Management in Times of Exponential Change. Welcome, Drew, and over to you.
Well, thank you, Vicki. It's really my pleasure and honor to join this and share my experiences with our members. My name is Drew Rye. I'm the Chief Digital Officer for Quaker Houghton, which is a process fluid manufacturer, including fluid intelligence, which is the business unit I manage. Let's get into our kind of transformational journey in the time of change. I do want to, I think all of you probably know the world is in turmoil, and from war to pandemic to now looming recession, all those things combined, which we really don't control. How do you create digital strategies and how do you adapt and build resiliency? How do you prioritize and make your tech investment go as far as possible is what I'll be sharing some of my thoughts, views, and practical experiences. Please continue to use the chat, and I'll see what I can answer as we go forward. So who are we? We are a public company. Process fluid is what we do. We also have grease and other specialty coatings business. We are based in US, in Pennsylvania. We are literally a B2B kind of company, if you want to call it. We are all over the world, 34 manufacturing locations. So one of the key things which I want people to understand, and this will relate into practicality of our strategy, is the company has a history of over 100 years and what they call customer intimacy model. Our product, we don't bend molecules. We formulate a specific formulation which works for our customers. So it's a highly customized model, although there are standard formulations. And we do that by providing what we call customer intimacy model. And in that, as you can see, product solutions are very specific. We have on-site support. We'll talk about that, how that digital plays into that. We definitely know our customers' processes. So we are intimately involved. In many cases, we literally run those process areas in our customer locations. And obviously, we're highly responsive from samples and formulation changes and everything a customer looks for. So generally, we have a long-term customer relationship as we go forward. So picture a steel mill or a metalworking shop. You might have seen the fluid, the lubricant, which is used to process, cut, or roll those things. That's our sort of bread and butter. So, the picture shows you all kinds of fluid, from casting fluid to hydraulic fluid to rolling fluid and so on and so forth. And now picture on the right top, which is our fluid intelligence product, which comes with all kinds of digital tool. And that's one of the teams I manage. So we not only provide the fluid, but we also provide the digital solution so that customers can on real time understand what the fluid is, their quality, their quantity, their temperature, their pH, and so on and so forth, and make sure that the fluid quality remains good for their product and their process production. Obviously, this helps our customers optimize their cost and reduce waste. So you got to understand your business and your business strategy before you create digital strategy. That's why I think I wanted to share with you. So this is the digital part of a specific thing I'll be talking. I'll probably be focusing more on this product, which is we do directly for our customers. So in that sense, I run a profit center, if you want to call it. I do have a separate IT organization, which is a cost center. We will continue to talk about both at the same time, but I thought I'll share with you guys this, which was really impacted in this turmoil. So you can see the name of the customers we serve. Think a bunch of sensors, IoT devices, PLCs, probes, routers, basically talking to on 5G cloud with databases and data presentation. So at this point, it's more about measuring what we have and letting our customers know. We are moving to a stage where the customers can be will be able to remotely manage some of the physical devices, so information going back, and then hence that comes the optimization. The reason I give you this example is, 3-4 years ago, this was not priority, and I should say that pandemic has been a blessing, but we try not to waste the crisis, I would say, and really double down on our approach to investing in digital technology for our customers, to not only protect our core business, but also to expand with our customers as we go forward. This is kind of this shows all kinds of scaling and refining digital activity happening in the marketplace. So we did take a look at our companies which are in a similar chemical, specialty chemical area. So you can see the 5 or 6 themes which are coming out, and these themes may look high level, but they are very specific programs which we have as we create a resilient digital technology transformation base and continue to expand our customer offerings. So whether it's a customer centricity, you saw the customer intimacy, that's what I was talking about, supply chain optimization, and visibility, smart manufacturing. Again, we will continue to increase the effectiveness, how fast we respond to our customers. The reason we have so many manufacturing plants is because we need to be very close physically to customers. So some of them are not very large manufacturing, some of them are small. Transforming the business model, again, in the time of change. Unfortunately, we have to exit from Russia. We're still figuring out a fine balance in China based on the geopolitical situations. But the rest of the world, we continue to expand. We are going places where we would not. We definitely need to protect enterprise with all kinds of, you guys probably know enough about cybersecurity. That's obviously a continuous threat, whether you provide digital tools or you just provide basic support to your own enterprise. And all those things are done on top of the technology transformation, the new tools, new suppliers, new platform continues to come. There is a constant change from our supplier base in terms of what platform they provide and how they continue to change and enhance. So you have to keep up with those. Otherwise, you will fall behind in maintenance and operations. Our digital vision during this time of change, one of the key things we decided was we need to be speed and agility. So how do you do speed and agility? Well, one of the things we use in the US as one of the saying is, I need a Marine Force, not a US Army. And basically, we need to define what are the core functions we want to keep inside and what are the functions we don't want to keep it inside and we might want to outsource. What talent we want, what roles we want, and so on and so forth. That actually has really helped us with speed and agility. I don't think I have gotten heck of efficiency, but I would say the focus has changed. Experience center design, as you do any technology implementation, I don't need to kind of harp on the change management. And the best change management is creating a design which you don't need to go and change and train people, although that's probably a pipe dream. So how can you create a user experience upfront while you're designing your applications or interfaces? That's really key because we have incorporated that in our methodology that regardless of a standard platform, off the shelf tool, custom or something in between, we are going to focus on the experience of the user. Multi-fit data and insights, typical IT organization is very focused on internal data collection or whatever data we get. We are starting to move into collecting outside data and mixing up with insight to provide even deeper analytics. Obviously, in the time of change, regulatory requirements continue to change, so you have to keep up with whether it's GDPR or California coming up with the new requirements and so on and so forth. We are also impacted by changes in the marketplace. So as the EV, for example, electric vehicle revolution is happening, we have a substantial customers on internal combustion engine. So we are working towards that too. And then you have this whole ESG movement going for sustainable product. So we continue to change our formulation to start using and transitioning toward more sustainable product than the legacy. And obviously all those things depends on the lot of infrastructure modernization, which is a continuous exercise you have to go through. When we looked at our transformation journey, obviously it's not as simple and linear as the slideshow, but it's more of an iteration. But I think the way we thought was to get the maximum investment on ROI on our investment. We thought we will create some kind of a prioritization or some kind of a methodology where we can help organizations help themselves as to what should go first and so on and so forth. So we defined that certain things are, just very basic. They are the enabling digital foundation. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a hard time going to the next two level. That doesn't mean that you can't do it, but it just means you will have hard time. So if your ERP and CRM, manufacturing execution system, and product lifecycle management, if they are not in place and they're not integrated, I think you better pay attention to those things. And as I said, they're not linear. Integration always tends to be a problem, and all integrations are not created equal. So how tightly your data, at a data level, you are integrated will definitely be one of the key things which helps or hurts your movement of digitization journey as you go through in these difficult and changing times. If you have your foundation kind of more or less secure, you move towards what I would call end-to-end process management and improvement. As you know, people who manage IT/digital really are responsible for end-to-end process, and the rest of the organization is generally classified by functions. So one of the key things which we have done is to create a business process organization, which is looking at order to cash, procure to pay, R to R, hire to retire, plan to deliver, and so on and so forth, end-to-end processes. Those end-to-end processes, when you start looking at it, you start breaking down the silos and functions within the company, whether it's a centralized, a regional, or something in between. Those are really helping us break the barriers and create more integrated process, data, and then user experience. And lastly, I would say, again, this is not linear. If you have covered the bottom two steps, then you can really start talking about Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, I know is a big word, means a lot of things to a lot of people, but in our case, we're really talking about customer-facing digital product, and that was a business strategy which we use. This is not to say that my bottom two sectors are completely done and there's no change needed, but to get to the fluid intelligence level, we thought that we have to get a few things in the bottom two. I think that was my last slide. How much time we have left? We still have, I think, I haven't seen questions, Vicky.
Thanks, Drew. So sorry about that. I apologize. Thank you for covering that and presenting your case study on what you've been doing at your company. We really do appreciate it. Audience members, you can ask questions, but we're going to now review some of the questions that did come through. The first question that we have are there any pointers you can share on scaling and refining shorter term digital strategies?
Yeah, I think from our perspective, the short-term digital strategy, again, first you have to understand your business strategy, because without that, it'll be very hard. So some of the our business strategy required, I would say, three basic legs. One was organic growth, which every company, for us, it means new product, new markets, and so on and so forth. So you got to do, if you need to go to different countries, you got to roll out your CRM or ERP. So that kind of make sure that you're ready for that. The second business strategy was acquisition. We do acquire companies, and integration of those acquisitions is not as simple as just laying out some email and some ERP. Doing a process integration and system integration is key, and obviously people integration. And lastly, in short term, again, you got to create a long-term roadmap for this Industry 4.0. What do you want to tackle first, second, and third? Obviously, those things are simply based on the ROI, and sometimes they are simply based on your strategy, even if there is no ROI in year one and year two, but there is a bigger change in the, you might be disrupting the marketplace, which is what in our case is, that there is no ROI in like 1 or 2 years. The payback, for example, for that is 3.5, 4 years. But it's the right thing to do. We are the first one to walk in that, and we are making a difference.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Drew. Our next question that came in is, what do you think is the next technology type that will change the way data is managed in the enterprise?
Well, that sounds like Yoda's kind of question. I don't think I'm that smart, but I would say that the data management has gone from once upon a time in data processing organization, 10, 15, 20 years, to, well, master data management, data quality management, data duplication. Data has turned into all kinds of stuff, but I think we are approaching a place where data will be self-service. So I think even today, your data scientists are already, working either for IT, in many cases for functions. Once the basic infrastructure is taken care of, I think we are moving towards a place where if I'm the data scientist working in a function, I am myself capable of looking for trends and whether it's a predictive trend or linear trend or some other kind, what I would call needle in the haystack. So we are moving towards what I call self-service data management and data consumption. That would be my take.
Perfect. Thank you for the Yoda answer. The other question that just came in, and I think we have time for just this one more question. Any tips or best practices you can share for remaining IT resilient in uncertain economic times?
Yeah, I would simply say it's when uncertainty comes, people run for cover, and everybody has to run for cover, including my own organization. But there are certain things which you do not want to run. You might want to run in the right direction. So make sure you don't sacrifice some of the long-term things which you think you might have to find a way to keep the right things going, even in the hardest of your time. You may have to take some hard decisions, which may not be very popular. So don't lose the near and long term ever.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you for this presentation. Thank you for such an excellent keynote. We appreciate you being here today. I also want to thank everyone else for joining us today for this session. This session, along with all of today's content, will be available on demand following the event. And thanks again, Drew. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.